Hey guys, so it's our Wednesday, and tonight we're gonna do 3 segments of 15 minutes until we can get up and running. We're still a work in progress. So tonight we're gonna talk about the clairs. There are, 7 general clairs. We're gonna kind of group them together because we want to do 3 segments tonight. So make sure that you're watching. Make sure you're hitting that follow and like button because we really appreciate it. We've gotten so many views and like I can't tell you how excited we are about doing this. We've gotten a lot of interest. But the biggest thing is we need to get you guys as followers so that we can go live and then we don't have to do this kind of awkwardly in 3 segments, or we can just get on a roll and keep going.
Make it easier for us.
Exactly. But we appreciate your patience because, we appreciate you, but we're still learning. So we have, we're going to talk about clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, which is kind of a general one. A lot of people know about that one more. And then we also want to put clairescience in there, which is clear smelling. So we're just going to give some ideas of instances we've experienced with it, and just kind of go over what it is and how it might be coming into like a new feeling for you since you're going through your awakening, or if it's something that you've never heard of it before, you want to maybe start looking into it, or
it's confusing.
We're all a lot of confused these days, but just again, be patient with us, but we're gonna do the best we can. So I'm gonna let Cricket take over here and do clairvoyance.
The confusing one. I got it though.
She does. That's why I'm turning it over to her.
Okay, so it's clairvoyance and it's clear seeing. And the reason it confuses me, because I always thought it was when you see like an apparition or a shadow figure or something, like with your eyeballs. But in doing my research, I found out that it's also when you see things with your third eye, which mind blind. That doesn't happen to me. So that's a whole area I don't know about that maybe you can talk about.
Yeah.
But it's when you see things that most other people can't see.
Yeah.
Do you think seeing auras falls under?
I think so, because it's a visual.
Right.
So anything that's really visual coming to mind. So like, and you put something like down here, a movie or a television program. So a lot of the times, especially when I'm channeling, I see almost like a video or like a story. Where it starts here and then it plays through, and so, but I just thought that was just my wild imagination. As I tune into it more, then it becomes more not meaningful, but like substantial. I don't know, I'm having trouble with words today.
Like it has a purpose. It's not just a random image.
Yeah, not just like, oh, look, a butterfly, and then you just go off and talk, think of something else or whatever. It's like when I have visions, I know that there's something concrete to them. So yeah, flashes and images, pictures, like photographs in your mind. So and that's where I'm a very visual person, so everything that I say, I'm seeing in my mind already. And it can be confusing if you think, that's not,
I can't even fathom.
Yeah.
I would be so distracted all the time.
Yeah.
And see,
it's
yeah.
It's a learned art, I think. I don't know. I'm sure there's so many people. Again, if you guys have comments, please comment in there. If you have questions, if you have something that you want to add to it that we can talk about. We didn't get any comments other than we love you guys.
Right.
But we appreciate that too. But that helps us to get an idea of how to reach you guys better,
Yeah, and it helps us learn too, because we only know our own experience. Because I see flashes of light.
Mm-hmm.
I see the shadow people.
Yeah.
I have seen full body, like they're real people, apparitions.
Yeah.
I always thought that was clairvoyance.
Yeah. And that's what I think most people think that.
Right.
Who haven't really looked into it.
Right.
And then you also have like the clear
salience,
which is the clear smelling. So one of the things that with that is like my kids when they were younger, or still even, they smell like cigarette smoke, and that was a sign that my dad was around after he passed. And so there's that kind of thing. Or sometimes when people hold objects, they can have a smell. Or like when I was younger, I smelled my mom, like her favorite perfume after when she wasn't around. And so it was after her passing. I shouldn't say when she wasn't around. But so those kind of things can happen too when you have clear salience.
And I had this crazy thing happen at work, and nobody can figure out why. It could have been for someone getting a reading, but I smelled a roast cooking. I smelled the potatoes and the onions and the carrots, like I smelled the whole thing cooking.
Wow.
Girl, I can't even smell that when I'm cooking it. And then I smelled bread coming out of the oven. And then I smelled a man coming home from work. That man smell when they come home from work. Yeah, I smelled all of it.
Wow.
Wasn't for me.
Wouldn't that be cool?
You know, could be.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I can't make a roast, but no. And yeah, the only thing we could figure was for the lady getting a reading in the back, because it wasn't for any of us.
Yeah.
So you can smell things
from other people.
Yeah. And I have a friend, she's got a horrible person that passed that she doesn't like in her family. And when that like negative energy is around, she smells vinegar.
Oh.
And that's how she knows that energy she doesn't like is around.
Nice.
And I have heard that if you smell like a bad smell, it's like a negative energy.
I gotcha. Well, sulfur from, like the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
When they talk about, negative entities.
Yeah. But it's not like a demon. It was like a really horrible narcissistic person in life that had passed.
Okay. And then we also have clairgustance.
Mm-hmm.
Clairgustance, which is clear tasting. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that before. Have you?
I don't think so. If I have, it maybe a long time ago.
You have that thing where like, oh God, that left a bad taste in my mouth. Maybe that's what that's.
I do remember
stems from.
One of my husbands, I think I did have that, because I would say, oh, I taste something like copper or something.
Oh.
And he said, I was so stupid when I was married to him. He said, when you taste a taste that you didn't taste, that means those nerves are dying and you're never going to taste that taste ever again.
Whatever.
Right. But that helped me remember that I have done that before.
Yeah.
I just got a weird story from a weird ex-husband.
I'm sorry.
So if you know anything about clear tasting, clear gustance, please tell us your story so we can learn along with you guys.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much time that's been.
But it's right up there.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking at. No glasses.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I don't have my glasses, so reading this paper is a little bit.
Well, I'm not a fan so much of this paper.
Well, but so I mean, we can talk some more about this clear seeing, because that, like, again, seems to be more of what people would recognize.
Yeah.
Seeing through one's mind's eye, known as the third eye.
But see, that part's all you, because I can't do that.
Okay.
Unless I'm having like a legit vision or dreaming. That's the only time I see in my head.
Okay. Well, we can move on to clear hearing, and that's something that, has the ability to hear things physiologically without the use of their physical ears. Basically, it's a telepathic information coming into one's mind's eye. Sometimes people will hear this as a regular voice, or if someone is speaking to them. So, yeah.
Sometimes Morgan Freeman narrates in my head.
There you go. That's a
But it's cool because the women in my family have a really strong connection. So, like, I'll hear my daughter say, "Ma," and then I can tell by how she says it, the tone of her voice, the emotion behind it, like, "Ooh, I need to call her and check on her."
yeah.
You know, and I'll hear "hey" or "hi" or just like one syllable little things.
Yeah. I've experienced that before. But I've also heard a full family upstairs
Right.
moving chairs around and talking to themselves, and there was nobody upstairs.
Right.
But that was in an active house.
And I kind of have a little bone to pick with this one that might not be a popular opinion, but I think the clear audience kind of gets overused
Okay.
because if a song pops up in your head, yes, clear audience.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are playing a particular playlist on your phone,
Oh, I gotcha.
and it's like, oh, all the songs are about unrequited love. Well, I've really got to look into this. Or, oh, my man,
It's a
or
message.
whatever. That is not a message. That's your playlist, and maybe you need to clean it out.
Right. I get that.
But there are times when I'm thinking of something and the perfect song comes on,
Yeah.
or I'm thinking of someone and like our song comes on.
Yeah.
Like that random, yes.
Yeah.
But
Not if you're going
some
through your
people,
playlist.
I think, take that a little too far. But I've heard some people, they were out in the middle of a pasture and they hear bells ringing, or they hear kind of like ethereal music.
Yeah.
It's a pasture, there's no orchestras out there
Right.
or bells.
Right.
So that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of.
Yeah. What about the telepathic? That's something I need to, like, I've had people who have experienced telepathic, but it's confusing.
It is, and like, I don't know if I have or not. Like, I think I have, but then I don't have the confirmation on the other end to know. Like, things have been said or done. It's like, oh, I got through them. They heard me. But it's not people. I would be like, I sent you messages last night. What did I say?
Right, right.
Nothing
right.
like that.
Well, I mean, I know that I've been sitting on the couch with my daughter and answered a question that she was asking in her head.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And in a relationship, I had that connection too, where it was like I was thinking something and then they answered out loud.
Yeah, that's it.
So that kind of, connection that way too.
Yep.
So yeah.
That one in there raised her hand and said she was telepathic.
I've done telepathies.
Okay.
Like, how did...
Like,
Speak up, though.
I was kind of in a bad place, and like me and him were separated, but I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, and I was really scared. And so I was like, you just think about it, and you're like, I need like sending him messages, like, I can't call you on the phone, I can't get a hold of you any other way. And so I would just like send those messages, and like within the hour he would call, or he would come, or it'd be something like he would always just like
Show up at the right time.
Yeah.
And
but
see,
I
I
had
didn't
been
think
calling
of-
for him. I had been
Yeah.
And see, I'm thinking about having a conversation.
Mm-mm.
When I hear telepathy, I'm thinking about having a conversation.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be that though.
I've once, that I know of, I've done that.
and then I'd be like, well, how did you know? And he was like, I don't know, I just heard you. Like, I just felt you. I just knew I needed to come
Okay.
to you.
Yeah.
Awesome. See, we learn stuff when we get outside comments. But I have
Exactly.
done that because, like, I lost a child, and my mama worked night sleep days. And I knew my mom was asleep. There was no way I was getting her on the phone, but I wanted my mama. And so in between the doctor's office and the hospital, I'm just like, Mama, wake up and answer the phone. Mama, and cell phones were brand new.
Yeah.
I'm not that old. But, and then I did. I called her, and she answered on the first ring, said she could not get to sleep that day.
Yeah.
Like, so she was awake for me to answer the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm here just thinking of, like, talking.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we're doing this, because as we get more information, as we talk things through, you know, you know some more about things than I do, and that's why we click.
Yeah.
So, it's at the 15-minute mark. So, do you want to finish up these last couple of ones, or we'll just save these for the next video. So, we will see you guys for
On the flip
this is part 1. So, wait for part 2, and we'll see you soon.